Man, what is going on? I know it's been forever, but how are you doing?
Good, man. Playoffs are in the air.
Well, since playoffs are in the air, we can finally start talking about the regular season being over.
Mm.
And I just want to take a second, man, and throw it your way because beginning of the season when we ran a podcast and I asked you what expectations were, what you thought we could do, you made it pretty clear that you thought we could win 67, 68 wins. And people gave you shit about that, bro. Like people just threw you under the bus, saying that it was impossible to get 12 more wins than we already did that last year. That we were just out of our fucking minds for even thinking about that. The Thunder could win 12 more wins and get to 68 wins, which would be a top five NBA team of all time regarding wins. But not only did that happen, bro, but we became one of the best defensive teams the NBA has ever seen. Like my question to you is, how did you see this happening? Like, as much as I want to say, I like to think about the future a lot, but you're the one that said 68 wins. You're the one that said best defensive team in the league by far. So, how in the world did you see that?
I mean, we watched a lot of games, and you saw like last year that we were a 50-win team, and we weren't really clicking like for a big portion of the season. We were playing good, but there were just all this stuff. It wasn't hard to imagine us winning another 18 games. So I wanted to say 70, but 68 was just a cop out, honestly.
Sure.
I wanted to say 70.
But 56 wins last year, like to me, like, okay, this is what's crazy about this. If we get 56 wins like we did last year, right? Then I think we're right in the mix with the other teams right now.
Yeah.
We'd be two wins ahead of Houston or Houston fucking
Rockets.
whatever. Yeah, Rockets. Fucking
Yeah, yeah,
Houston team. How about that?
yeah, yeah.
They're gonna lose pretty quickly in the
Well, I
this
actually, I kind of, I like what they're doing down there. We've made fun of Houston a lot, but like obviously they got the right coach for the situation. They're getting better. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is the thing about the Thunder is that this isn't they're not peaking. Like it's not hard to imagine a season where we do come back next year and put up 74 wins. It's a lot to ask, and you can't have any like mistakes throughout the season, pretty much. But in the end, we've gotten to the point at at this stage where it doesn't matter how many regular season wins we get. So
fuck that shit.
it's exactly it's like last year it became very clear at playoff time that if we are the number one seed and we don't make it to the conference finals and then the finals, that it's a disappointing season. So yeah, we came back, we got the number one seed, we ran away with it. There wasn't even a competition. I can't think of a season that was this much separation
Yeah.
between the one seed in the West and the two seed. But what we're able to do now is say we're an elite team and history is going to judge us based on the championships we have. And there's a lot of reason to think that we can't beat certain teams out there.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people out there who have already made it clear that Luka has our number. Okay, that's fair. Like we have to prove otherwise.
Yeah.
Even if we had beat the Mavs last year, could we have made enough progress to go on and beat the Wolves? That's something that we have yet to see.
Sure.
So, in the end, this team is playoff ready. We've been preparing for it for a while, but these guys are going to make their statement from here on out. 68 wins is impressive. We don't ever want to like ignore something special like that. But you also like we know from like the Patriots, they went undefeated and they didn't win a championship. The Warriors went 73 wins. You don't get a chip, it don't matter. It don't matter. So that's where we're
How
at.
many times have you heard of the greatest team in the NBA and talked about the 73 win Golden State team? Like
Um,
that's the thing about it. Like you don't hear that anymore. Like they didn't win a championship, so that's
sorry,
so that's
breaking the
people don't
rules.
talk about Golden State. Like it's not this. I don't know, man. I've always looked at it like you have to win a championship
You
if you're
have
going to
to.
be known as one of the greatest teams of all time, and that's just
So
simple.
going back to Moses Malone, right? How do you win a championship? It's the full. Got to get them all.
Gotta get them all.
What are we gonna do, Dave? We got 4 games that we got to win, and we got to do it. We got to keep doing it. That's
So
it. It doesn't matter. We got to win 4 games in each series before we lose 4. I don't care
here,
what people say. That's the game.
here's the crazy thing about this is the back of the NBA, the four teams that are in the play-in position right now, like they're not chumps. You
Yeah,
got
it's
Dallas
true.
versus Sacramento. Like Sacramento is probably the easiest out of all the teams in this, but
But they can get hot.
Sacramento, I think Sacramento loses to Dallas. I just do. I don't. I mean, they could get hot and they could beat Dallas, but they had a chance to beat the Clippers and get home court advantage in the play-in, and that didn't work. So they, again, my point is that like they've had opportunity after opportunity, and they failed. So let's just say that Dallas beats Sacramento, and then you have Memphis versus Golden State. Now, everybody talks about Golden State being able to beat Memphis, right?
Hmm.
But let's just say Memphis wins. They get the 7th seed. Golden State goes for the 8th seed. Dallas versus Golden State. Now, listen, that's going to be a crazy matchup because again, Dallas is built for teams that don't have big men. Golden State is built for teams that don't have guards, so it will be a crazy matchup right there. To me, I don't really care who we play in the first round. I still think it's going to be over in 5. The second round to me is going to get where it's going to be crazy.
Well,
I think the second round.
before we go to the second round, let me ask you: what's the best case scenario and what's the worst case scenario for the first round?
All right. So, in my opinion, for the Thunder playing, I think the best case scenario would be Sacramento.
Yeah.
I think we would beat Sacramento in 4. It would be a sweep, be over. I think that's the case. Now, if you're asking me about a challenge, the best challenge for us would be Golden State in the first round. Um, if you're looking for a complete domination to let Nico Harris know that he fucked up, then yeah, let's go Dallas. But I don't,
But
you know what I'm saying?
we
Like,
could get into a series against the Warriors, and
and it would be 6 or 7 games. Sure, I could see that.
that would be a scary 7, dude. If it
Yeah.
went 7, I would be shitting myself.
But so check this out, right? And I've gone back and forth with this. Is Golden State, do they want to play against us or Houston? And that to me is, if I was Golden State, I want to play Houston
Yeah.
because I have a better chance of beating Houston than Oklahoma City. So that's what I look at there. But um, push comes to shove, though. This Thunder team is designed to play against anybody, and where our biggest competition, I believe, will be in the second round. And
Let's talk
everybody's
about the
talking.
second round.
So everybody's talking about Denver as being like a legit team that we're going to face in the second round. I don't think Denver has a chance to take it to 5 against the Clippers. The Clippers are playing on a whole new level. And listen,
Really?
guys, listen, I want to throw this out here is that I was wrong about the Clippers. I said the Clippers were going to lose 14 of like
Yeah.
19 games or whatever, the last
Keep
like
it
20
going.
games of the season, right?
Yeah.
They went the complete opposite eventually. Essentially, they went like 17-4 the last 21 games of the season, and my point about that is that something clicked, and if it didn't click, they would have not even done anything special, but they did something special. Now they're on a high, and they have to play against Denver, which Denver just fired their coach, and they're kind of discombobulated for a moment. Whether or not they'll be able to get through it or not, I don't know. Um, but I think the Clippers beat Denver in 5 games, and I think they'll be ready for
Mm.
Oklahoma City. And I think that is going to be our toughest challenge to get to the championship game. It just is. I think that it will take us a full 7 games to beat the Clippers,
Yeah.
and then after that, I think the Lakers. I think the NBA, and I think the rest of the world want to see the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, Luka and LeBron. But I don't think that they have a chance to take us to 7 games. I think we can eliminate them in 6, even 5. Our defense is too spectacular, and in order for them to beat us, they would have to shoot like an insane, I don't know, 49% from 3-point range all season or all series. And I just don't think that is a thing that the Lakers could do. Maybe I'm wrong again. We'll find out. So the Lakers, I think that that will be the Western Conference Finals. But as far as the championship game goes, everybody talks about the Cleveland Cavaliers making it there and being
Mm.
such an incredible team this year and all these other things. But listen, they lost a lot of games down the stretch. They're kind of like the Houston Rockets. I think Houston Rockets lost like 4 or 5 games down the stretch too. And to me, like sometimes you sit there and you're like, okay, do they lose those on purpose? Are they not playing their good guys? Are they resting their guys? Are they trying to get healthy? Like what's going on? But I don't know, man. Like I look at Boston as being a legit team that the Cleveland Cavaliers are not going to be able to beat. Just not. Like, and every matchup is going to be leaned towards Celtics, and the NBA is going to be sitting there drooling and saying, we have an opportunity to have the Celtics and Lakers for a championship game again, which everybody knows that's the bee's knees when it comes to championship games, is, Lakers versus Boston. So my point about that is that when Oklahoma City gets the championship, right, it's already going to be upsetting for some people. But when Oklahoma City wins the championship, I think everybody's going to start recognizing what just happened. Because, first of all, during the playoffs, a couple things are going to happen. Shea's going to be named the MVP during the playoffs. Second thing that's going to happen is we're going to get Dort on the first team all defensive team during the NBA playoffs. We're going to have multiple guys that are going to be recognized for just incredible things like best teammate in the NBA, which Jay Will is up for this year. So my point is that a lot of great things are going to happen during the playoffs that are going to be great, and they're going to be distractions. But when push comes to shove, guys, every single thing that people thought it was a side distraction this year, the Thunder have come in and completely turned around and made it so it's not. And look at the celebrations afterwards. How many people talk negative about those? And now everybody loves it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's making T-shirts about these things.
Yeah,
man,
they flipped.
Caught fire.
So, yeah, I mean, when you look at the whole season and you look at the playoffs, I mean, it's obviously there's a chance it could be an incredibly difficult road. We could have to go through 3 championship teams, but we're talking about getting the finals back to Oklahoma City. Like, that's something that we haven't seen in 13 years now. I mean, it was 2012.
Yeah,
I mean, that's incredible.
Dude.
And I mean, I feel like we got that chance. Now, you got to go out there and do it. We got to stay healthy. And like you said, we could be playing the Nuggets, and they've got nothing to lose. They got the best player, statistically, the best player in the world that we've seen last, the Mount Rushmore level player. If they just throw the system at him, we could find ourselves in a spot where it's 6 intense, 7 intense games. Then you find yourselves in a spot where, shit, dude, like, what else is like this? I guess I remember when the first time we made it to the finals, if you could look back at the previous playoff experiences, each time we got knocked out, we faced a team that went on to win the championship. It was the Lakers, it was the Mavs, I think the Spurs one year. So what you have to kind of look at is this is a version of that, a little different, but we're going against teams that teams that have championship pedigree. And one thing that everybody said about us, and they still say about us, is they're not afraid of us. Like, teams aren't afraid of the Thunder. They're asking for the Thunder. So in an environment like that, and you could go against teams with pedigree like that, you got to knock off the king of the hill if you want to be the king of the hill. So I like that challenge. I'd rather go against 3 teams that have that than us get easy road to the finals, and then people wonder, oh, was it just because you went up against 3 soft teams? So I don't know, dude. I mean, I like it. I want to see us. The only one that I want to see maybe change out, instead of us like going and beating the Celtics, if we did make it to the finals, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I'd like us to beat the Knicks if we could pick.
Man, I gotta say about Sam Presti is everybody has been saying who won the Josh Giddey Alex Caruso trade. This. Josh Giddey.
A lot of stats, people will put the stats next to each other and be like, what's it look like?
So we're not talking about Josh Giddey in regular season. I'm sorry. I love Josh Giddey, and I can't believe I'm bringing this up right now. But the reality of the situation is Josh Giddey, in my opinion, is one of the best point guards for regular season. Here is the problem with what happened with Josh Giddey last year. Josh Giddey got picked on, and we depended on Josh Giddey, and he didn't figure a way out of it, which is fine. Not everybody does. But when Sam Presti went out and got Alex Caruso, he got Alex Caruso for one reason. And I am 100% sure that this is the biggest part of what Alex Caruso is coming to the table. Alex Caruso's got a ring. Alex Caruso knows what it takes to win. He knows what it takes to put it in every single day. And Sam Presti went out and got Alex Caruso for a reason. And I truly believe that's for playoffs. I believe that Alex Crusoe's job is to play 50 games during the season if he can get to that number, and the rest of it is to play, 20 something games in the playoffs. Because to me, it's more important to have somebody like Alex Crusoe playing in the playoffs for you and balling out for you than it is to have somebody like Alex Crusoe playing for you in the regular season. And I think it's just statistically proper like that. If you look at what Alex Crusoe will bring to you during the playoffs, it will be more minutes. It will be more minutes against their best offensive player and allowing Dort to get more time because this is 7 games in a row against the same exact team. They're going to do whatever it takes to get you off your game, and that means they're going to throw different people at you. So this trade that Sam Presti made, Alex Crusoe for Josh Giddey straight up, is going to become valuable and known as one of the most valuable trades ever for the Oklahoma City Thunder because of this playoffs and why Sam Presti drafted him. Or not drafted him, traded him.
Yeah, I mean, like looking back at the trade, obviously I'm still a little upset about it because I love watching what he's doing, but I mean I'm good with it. You look at like Harden and Westbrook and KD is a little bit kind of wish they had all found a way to make it last. But okay, fine, we'll move past that. But with shit, dude, with Giddey, the way that I want to look at it, and I think everybody should, is last year when we were playing the Mavs, coach shortened the rotation, and Josh found himself on the outside of it. And when that happened, Presti had to make a call about when coach makes that shortened rotation decision, I have to give him a player that he trusts in that environment. He's got to be able to do it on both ends. Most importantly, knock down threes and defend the best player type thing. And if I can give him one of those guys, and it does hurt to lose a player at Giddey's caliber, but you got to give coach a deeper bench when he says, I have very little trust in anybody right now. A lot of coaches go 8 deep in the playoffs. Sometimes you'll see a guy like Tibbs and it'll seem like he goes 6 deep.
He just goes 5 deep.
Yeah, and you're like, how is he pulling this off? And I understand why teams don't want to do that. But every playoffs, it doesn't matter what you did in the regular season. The teams are like Jason Kidd. I mean, you look at what he did. He was an absolute genius when it came to substitution patterns and when it came to putting his team in the position to be successful.
Yep.
It helped that he had Luka. But in the end, we got to face again this level of play again, and we have to come back with the lessons we learned. And if we didn't learn anything from it, then I would think that it would be likely that we're going to repeat what happened. But that's where the Caruso pickup plays in, is because that was the key lesson: is we need more depth when the depth is hard to get.
A lot of times I think about the idea of what Sam Presti does and what Coach D does, or Coach Dagnont does. For whatever reason, I'm thinking Coach Donovan, but
yeah,
that's whatever.
D. It works.
Yeah, right. But what Sam Presti and what the structure they have, Sam Presti is there and he's looking at the big picture. He's looking at everything on this year, next year, the year after. He has all these lists or whatever he has that's built in his brain that is designed that he can look towards the future. Coach D is all about the now. And when Sam's watching Coach D coach and he's not using certain players in certain situations, he starts recognizing that he needs to help him out in those situations because he's looking at the big picture. And that's how we end up losing Josh Giddey, is because when like Mark said, the rotation tightened up, Coach D is not using him. Sam Presti is looking at the big picture and says, I need somebody that can hit a three and can play defense at a top level. And to me, that's Caruso. There is no better option for that, and especially probably was for available, especially that too. So
especially when you tell that player, whoever it is, that you don't want him starting.
Yeah.
For the majority of the season, they're going to be finding a way to fit in. Like Caruso's that guy.
Yeah. There's no other option. So for me, when this trade happened, this was what we consider a winning trade, and it's about winning now, and it's about understanding that there might be a chance in the next 5 years that you look back and say we shouldn't have made that trade. But winning now is very important, and when you have somebody like Alex Caruso going to locked up for 4 years, like winning now is now the possibility. Now you have a legit vet that's going to grow with your team and it's going to be there for 5 total years. Like, to me, you can't go wrong with that. If this was one of those things, it was we traded Josh Giddey and then Alex Caruso left the next season, and I'll be like, guys, yeah, we fucked that shit up. But that's not the situation that we're in. This is a situation we signed Alex Caruso for a contract right afterwards, and it's a very, I would consider, team-friendly contract according to the next few years of what's going to happen. To me, it was a no-brainer. Like, this is exactly what we needed. We couldn't sign Josh to a max contract because we had J-Dub and Chet coming up with their contracts. So we had to make one cut, and we had to fill it in with a role player that was going to be a significant role player. So again, this was a huge win for us. Now, looking towards the future, I do think that this Thunder team will look at Josh Giddey when the Chicago Bulls have a good team in the future and being able to be like, well, we're glad that we did this for Josh. And Josh was right by betting on himself. And listen, we would not have been able to offer Josh the money he's going to make over in Chicago. Chicago is in love with Josh, guys. Not just a little bit. They're so in love with Josh that they're telling him to throw everything at him right now. Give him the max contract. And that contract's going to be, it's going to be a doozy, guys. Not going to be like what we could have offered him, but
could be getting that private jet to get back and forth to Australia. It'd be nice, dude. Good for him. And that's what it's all about, man. We get to see like a lot of young players.
Fall in love with these guys.
Yeah, and like we watched so many good players. One of my favorite players, Jeff Green. You Green. Watch these guys come up, and then you see them stick it out and find a way to keep it going. So I appreciate the previous experiences we had. I appreciate this year, but in the end, like, we need a chip. Oklahoma City needs a chip.
You know what? I gotta say, man, I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna all come down. You ready for this? It's 1 minute left. We're up by one bucket. Game 7. Coach calls J. Will. J. Will goes in the game, steps up, gets a charge they call an and one. Coach has reviewed, gets overturned. Oklahoma City Thunder win the game. I'm just saying, is like, this is the type of player that J. Will is, guys. I'm telling you right now, is J. Will is going to be huge during this playoff time. If you don't think so, I understand he's sprained his ankle and he's coming back from that. But guys, just take a second and look at what he did in 3 of the last 6 games that he started. Or I'm sorry, he started in 3 games this season, right? All 3 games he had a triple-double. Like, listen, he's playing on a different level right now. People are starting to take note of him, what he can do. And the reality of the situation is, because how he's playing, Coach D is going to lean to him a lot during the playoffs. And I love the matchup when you have Chet and him out on the court. I love the matchup when you have Hartenstein and him out on the court. I love it when he's out on the court by himself as the only big man, because the reality is that we spread the floor out so well with him on the floor. He passes the ball so well. His vision is so well. J. Will is one of the most unique players, and a lot of people just don't understand that about with the skill that he brings. So, guys, circle him, watch him, and understand what he brings to this team, because it is a lot of laughter. It is a lot of good times. And after the games are over, that's really where he shines. That's the moment that you can see the type of teammate he is, because he started something in Oklahoma. Whether it's whenever he hits a 3, he barks, right? That's a pretty good one. The other one is after the interviews, he's draping the towels, like all these things that he does, man. He just is such an ultimate team player, and he brings something to the table. So when he's out there on the court, everybody's watching him. Everybody's amped up, and he brings something to the table in the last 30, 45 seconds of a quarter that he's out there, that coach calls on him. Like, how many times do you see a player that goes out there in the last minute because coach is like, hey, J. Will, get out there, because he knows J. Will is going to do something in the last minute. Like last 2 minutes, you see him get up and go. Like, why? Well, it's because he knows he has 7 possessions left, and J. Will would influence 4 of those possessions, and really fast. And that's how we go on these crazy swings and point swings. Like, we go on a 17-0 run or a 12-2 run. We do this all the time because Coach D sees the weaknesses and all of a sudden picks on them, sticks J. Will out there, and boom, we score 10 points in a row in 2 minutes. Sticks J-Dub out there, and the mismatch is so significant, scores 24 points real fast. Or, even better, you stick Aaron Wiggins, the man who saved basketball out there, and he'll score 25 points for you anytime he starts.
Yeah, it's something we used to say a lot. It's something that a lot of people who been around the game, they really get. But you need two things if you're going to win a championship, as far as from the player personnel. You need stars, and you need role players who are stars in their role, and that is what all those guys you just mentioned are. They're absolute stars in their role, and they understand how to be their best by bringing the team what they need the most. It's the best of basketball.
Best of basketball. That's what we're seeing, bro. Like, when have we ever seen a more disciplined and more old school team? Like, this is what this is. This Thunder team is an old school team through and through. It's hardcore, hard nosed defense. How many times do we hear everybody else bitching about our defense being so hard that we're trying to injure players? It's because the NBA is fucking soft. They're fucking soft, and we're out here and we're busting our ass, and everybody's like, you guys are hurting our players. Like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Do you guys remember Patrick Beverly? Yeah, I remember Patrick Beverly, motherfucker. I remember when he took out like Russell Westbrook's knee. Yeah, that was completely intentional. I remember when Russell Westbrook got an elbow to the fucking face. Like, listen, guys, people want to sit here and talk about how dirty we were. No, no, no. Go look at Houston. Go look at San Antonio. Go look at Dallas. Go look at Golden State. Fuck it. Look at all these other teams 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And then you say this Thunder team is nothing. All they do is play hard defense. They get in your face and they get in your head and they lay little babies in your brain. And then when it's all said and done, you don't even know what the fuck up is. You're like, wait, what happened? Because Dort just fucked you in your asshole.
Bada bing, bada boom. That's what we call it.
Catch you guys soon.